And this time it's Kissimmee, Florida. I was there this past weekend, just now getting this up. It would have been up sooner if I hadn't lost the first time that I edited it. Oh well. Sprinkles. All Ollies have sprinkles now. It's a great way to buy these if you need these for your business. If you're a baker, if you're a cake decorator, cookie maker, whatever, it's great. This is not for food. This is for resin. Another little bit of mix-ins. And then they have these beautiful gold letters. I haven't seen these in all Ollies, but I've seen them in several. But for $1, it's a great buy. And this houndstooth, I kept trying to wiggle it around so you could see that it's all glittery and wonderful. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It's about paperweight. I wouldn't call it cardstock, but it is gorgeous. And then they had these, and these are cardstock weight, and they are textured pre-cut pieces of cardstock that you can use in memory books or you can use in scrapbooking, card making, whatever. Really beautiful things. And this next thing was really cool. It's We Are Memory Keepers, so it's older because it's not yet the We Are Memory Makers brand, but it's this little 3x4 booklet of cards that you can use in your scrapbooking or in your card making or wherever you need these. They are cardstock. And they are double-sided, and they're beautiful. So it's a quick grab and go. And there's 18 pieces in here for $1. So that's just a little bit more than 5 cents each sheet and ready to go. Done and dusted. These are gorgeous. This is double-sided cardstock. You got 25 pages in here. This was $3, and it was beautiful. This is just a beautiful coloration of paper. And you can't see it well, but this is embossed silver cardstock for 25 cents a sheet. Oh, my goodness. The embossing was beautiful. Again, back to the bronze glitter. This is really nice. And wait till you see what else they had for glitter. Another double-sided piece of cardstock. This store had boxes and boxes of cardstock and paper. This was just a cute little embellishment. And then you had these little pans. And I hadn't seen pans in any of the stores before, but for baking, there you go. And again, the little bottles of glue. Not worth $1 to me, so I still didn't buy any. And then you have more pages that you can use in junk journals. This is only the second store that I've seen these in, so they're not all that common, I guess. And this is just a little 4x6 photo album, but I don't store photos in mine. These are the perfect size for the Temu silk screens for polymer clay. And then they had 200 of these cute little wooden letters, and that was a great price. 200 of these little letters for $1. I mean, just absolutely wonderful. And they're a really good size for so many different things, and they had a huge box of them. Then we have the stamps, and this store was unique for these little wooden stamps. This is the smaller size stamp, but this store had both uppercase and lowercase. And I think that's the first store that I've seen both sets in. So that was pretty neat. And then they had more little letter sets, and this was the only letter set that I highlighted from this box, but there were a couple others. And then they had this beautiful set of glitter sheets, and I thought this was gorgeous. It was $1.99. You got 10 pages of cardstock glitter, and look at how gorgeous they are. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And I have to admit that I did not buy any of them, not a single one, because I went back and looked at them, and I opened them up and I looked at them really closely, and I noticed something about them. So I decided to take my hand and swipe my hand over the pages, and guess what? It's craft COVID. This is not good glitter paper because the glitter is not held onto the paper. It comes off, so I left them behind, but they were so pretty. If you don't mind craft COVID in your household, go for it. I have cats. I don't do craft COVID. That is a little pile of things that I did buy there, though. And more paper. They had so much of this double-sided cardstock, and it wasn't just one or two different patterns. They had lots of different patterns. This is glitter. This was better glitter because I looked very carefully in the packages. I didn't see any glitter coming out in the bottom of the package. And the glitter cardstock was $1 for 2 sheets. This one I didn't understand because the two sides were so similar in color and pattern. I didn't understand why it was double-sided cardstock. Whereas this one has a huge contrast between one side and the other. And the hearts were so pretty. And these little dots on this side, beautiful, beautiful piece of double-sided cardstock. Just $1/4 a sheet. This one is also very gorgeous. That beautiful color on that side, and then all these color swatches on this side. Imagine how many happy, pretty, sunshiny cards you could make with that. And this one's a very patriotic one, and it was very pretty as well. Like I said, they had different styles and boxes of them. Little accoutrements for card making or scrapbooking, and here's another set. And those would be so cool to fussy cut, and they would be so easy to fussy cut. Gorgeous paper, and then it's got this nice little pattern on the other side. Beautiful, beautiful. Boxes and boxes of that. Little glitter flakes for whatever you wanted to use them in. And then another accoutrement that you can put on your cards. And just gorgeous stuff. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. These were, I believe, 8 cards and 8 envelopes. And they're the A2 size cards. And it was $1 for the whole package. And they had these black ones and they had the craft paper ones. They might have at one time had a white or an ivory, but I didn't find any of those. Very pretty, very usable, very nice to have those pre-packaged like that. A few paintbrushes. And I did buy a set of these. They were just a nice little set. And this is one of those times of non-buyer's remorse because my husband handed this to me and I took the video of it, but I didn't really pay attention to what it was. Now that I'm editing the video and I read it, oh my gosh, I wish I bought that. This is some stencil butter, stencil pastes that you can use on your stencils. They only had one color of it, and I believe it was called charcoal, but it was really pretty. And for some reason, I'm going to show you the little glitter flakes again, so I guess I wanted you to see them twice. And now I'm going to go on to showing some of the markers that they had. But while I'm doing that, I just want to say thank you so much for engaging with my channel and interacting with me and my channel. I appreciate you so much. I mean, so much. I am humbled by the response that I have gotten from all the people that have been watching and liking and commenting and subscribing and sharing and all the other things that people do with a YouTube channel. And I'm just so pleased to have you here. Thank you so very much for joining me on this craft journey. Just please know that you are greatly appreciated. And I would not suggest sending these to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't send the taco stamps to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm just saying, don't do it. Wouldn't a queen cake be gorgeous with those last 2 decorations, the crowns and the diamonds? Oh, I would love to see that into a queen cake. More sprinkles, more other baking stuff that they have. Sorry, I'm still giggling at myself. The little tubes to hold things in. And they also had not only the little tubes, but they also had the little containers. 25 cents each. That is not a bad price if you need that type of thing to contain some of the stuff that you have with your crafting. These were $3. They were on the dollar table, but they were $3. And for some reason, I'm showing you this piece of paper again. Apparently, I've refilmed a few things as I went through the store. And then this is a fantastic buy. This is 5 sheets of 110-pound black 8.5 by 11 cardstock. That is a great price for that. I mean, 20 cents a sheet is awesome. Son of a biscuit-eating crazy boat. Helps when you hit record. While I would like to say that that's the first time I did that, no. Technology is hard. That's probably the 5th time that I've had to go back and re-record something because I forgot to hit record on the phone the first time I went through. In fact, it's in one of my other ones. Anyway, and some more candy melts that have become so prevalent in so many of the Ollies. And one day I think I'm going to buy one of those big bags and just eat them out of the bag. Not even bother to put them in a fountain. More for the queen cake. Those stars, those diamonds, and those crowns would make a gorgeous queen cake. And this was new. They have, or at least I'd never seen it before, but this is buttercream frosting. That is a really cool thing to have. And look at these cute little cookie cutters. Dollar table, not $1. These were $5, but they were awesome shapes and they were a good size. And this little box of lollipops was heavy for its size. There was a lot of sugar in here, but they were so cute and sweet. And they'd be so cool just sitting right in the top of cupcakes for some sort of a kid's party. That would be so neat. So I thought I'd highlight them for you. And then here's the other tub of buttercream. So they had 2 tubs of buttercream and I hadn't seen that in any Ollies. And the nozzles for the piping bags. This was a really cool find. And they had mixes. This is a complete baking kit to make these little sandwich cookies. And I thought that was pretty cool to have. And these are probably a little out of season seeing as how they're Valentine's Day, but there's nothing saying that they won't hold because there's no food in here. This is just paper and bags with twist ties. More colors of the sprinkles that they had. And this was a mix for key lime pie, key lime no-bake cheesecake. And I meant to pick one up so I could cook it and make it and test it for y'all. And I forgot. Here's some bubblegum colored glitter cardstock. These are $2. I'm sorry, these are 2 sheets for $1, which is a good price. And then they had this little journal, and this had a lot of paper, but I wouldn't say it's a great junk journal store. Here's the Wall-O canvases that they seem to have in most of the Ollies. And then the pegboards. And this was just a little portion of the pegboard. At first, I didn't think they had much on the pegboards. I found more pegboards later. This is crepe paper. This is that crepe paper petal paper making stuff. I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but these were the small sheets, and these were $1.49 for the 6x6, and they had some pretty colors in that. But if you want yellow, Then they had 12 by 12 sheets for $1.99, which is by far a much better price because that's like 4 times the paper for 50 cents more. Pretty cool. If you need a runner or if you need this kind of fake burlap, that is 100 feet of it for $8. $8. Top shelf and the stationery aisle, you got to look back behind stuff, but it's there. Yard signs, happy birthday. This store had a ton of these yard signs, and I don't know if this was from the buyout or if they've had these from other things. I think this was buyout stuff, and they had a ton of them. They ranged in price from like $5 for the smaller sets to $15 for the really, really big sets, which for what they are, that is a great price. For the size of the stuff that you get, that is a great price. I think the most expensive one was the one that actually had the letters that spelled out the entirety of happy birthday or the word congratulations. There, you can see it right there. Beautiful. I think that one was $15, which is a great price for that many letters. And they were probably 1.5 feet tall. This is graduation or education paper, but it's black on the other side, solid black. So that's a great buy-in. You can see how many of them on the shelf, highlighting those mixed media journals again. And other than the Castleberry store, all I've seen are the mixed media one. Castleberry had one specifically for sketches, but all the rest have been mixed media. This is that really cool paper with the texture on one side and just plain dots on the other. And then this cool set of everything that you need for a student to get started in school. And these were like $10 for the big set and then $5 for the little set, which is great. It's a one and done, one thing that you need to buy, and then your kid or your college student or yourself has whatever you need. The obligatory red Cricut foil and the green rolls. I wonder if they're ever going to get any other colors of that. This would be good for a junk journal. They did have a couple things for junk journaling, but not a whole lot. This was really cool. If I were to have bought these, testing gravity still works. If I were to have bought these, I would have cannibalized these for the images because they were really, really gorgeous images. I didn't buy them. It's not my style, but I just wanted to point that out in case it is one of your styles. And this was really cool for kids or adults. I mean, I could see myself doing this in all honesty, but this was just a little axolotl book that had lots of little activities and drawings and things to color, and it was just cool. I liked it, so I pointed it out to you. These were on the top shelf. I think this is the first store that has had washi tape that was in a different style. This was the style that I've seen in so many of the stores, but the other style I hadn't seen, and this is the only time that I've seen this kind of packing tape. The other ones have just said it's here, and we're back to the other pegboards, so I'm showing it to you. They had a lot of different cool things on here, but we've seen most of the stuff on the pegboards, but they had a We Are Memory Keepers item, this little packet with letters and stamps and everything. Maybe not stamps, but letters and accoutrements that you could put in a journal, and it's really cool. So I wanted to highlight this for you so that you'd know where it is if you're interested in that and you get to the Kissimmee store. So they had 2 pegs of it. This, I'm not sure about the packaging. I think whoever decided to put them in this kind of package, I don't know if you see it, but I see it. When you look at the back, you can tell what they are, but on the front, it's just a little risque, I think, personally. I don't know if y'all see it, but I did. That may say more about me than anything else. The little paper clips, the little dogs, the little regular paperclip looking ones, and they had the little hearts. These are so cool, and I've seen these in a few stores, and if you do junk journaling, or if you do any sort of thing where you want to keep pages like paper clips, bookmarks, things like that, so cute. They had a whole box of this. I think this had just gotten put out. Whole box of this little twine, great for using for decorating greeting cards, and some sewing stuff. I don't know what this is, but y'all do, so take a good look at it and see if it's anything that you can use. Again, this is the Kissimmee store, and while you're looking, please do pay attention to my channel because I want to try a giveaway, and I think I've come up with a way to reduce the scamming of it because I didn't want to do a giveaway where I thought one of my viewers would get scammed, but I think I've come up with a way to mitigate the scamming. So if you're interested, please do pay attention to the next couple of videos because I'm going to outline what's going to go on in the giveaway. And the first one's just going to be something small, but I have found something that I have not highlighted in any of these videos that is so awesome, and I'm going to give one of them away because it was just a great, great deal, even better than the mink. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They had 2 and I bought them both, one for me and one for one of you. Anyway, I had to point these out. Dill pickle cashews. I mean, why not? The dill pickle trend is a definite thing. I didn't try these. I didn't buy them. I don't know how they are. And the last thing that we saw, this is as we were leaving. This was in the checkout aisle. If I hadn't turned around, I would not have seen this. But look at this. $3 for all of these tools. Recollections brand, Michael's brand, great stuff. Picked it up, had to have it. Beautiful sunset on our way home. Thank you so much. I cannot express how much I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of whatever time of day it is where you are. Cheers!